Headed to Oklahoma in this episode. After spending 5 months in Houston, it was time to head north. So we backed up the truck, the Armada, and if you'll notice on the hitch in the receiver, you'll see that white stripe. I use that to guide myself in, and it works really, really well. My nephew Jonathan suggested I get something else, and I explained to him the white stripe is why I do that. That's Eduardo off the left. He came up on Easter, and this is right at that time. And here we are pulling out of the gate from my sister's house, the lot beside her house. And we're getting ready to hit the road. Another view. Happy that my taillights are working. Closing the gate so we can hit the road. Once we get the gate, in the background, that's my Mercedes 380 SL 1983 I bought while I was down there, and we're on the road. We'll leave it there for a while. Spent the night in the Walmart parking lot, and here we are headed off to Chickasaw National Recreational Area. Used to be the Platte National Park, now it's just the Historic District. And the first thing we do is we're going to go across the creek. All the springs in the area are fed by this creek, or fed into this creek. And you cross the creek and you get to the visitor center. This is the visitor center. There's some, the visitor center not only is where you can get your permits and things, but it also has a small museum inside of it of the natural area, the springs, the animals that are in the area, that are historically in the area. Eduardo was feeling the old buffalo skin. After we went through there, got our stickers, we hit the trails that go out back and actually lead to the springs that the area is famous for. They're sulfur springs. This is the creek that is fed by the springs themselves. Gotta get a good picture of this. And then we also had some friends along the way. We got pictures of 2 little squirrels. I enjoy taking pictures of wildlife. This is the pool that was made and the little stone bridge over it. And this is Antelope Springs, the first springs you come to after you leave the visitor center. And the interesting thing about this spring is it has not been developed. It's as natural as it was when the Native Americans and when the buffaloes frequented this area. And you can see that where the spring is coming out from underneath the rock, and you can see how much water is actually coming out of that spring. I was really impressed with this. There was a spring above my house when I grew up that we drank from, filled a pool, and the pool was piped into the house. It very rarely flowed like that. Then we went down the trail to the next spring, which is the Buffalo Spring, and this is it that's been built up. Eduardo, that's the exit of it. And here you can see where the water is percolating up through the ground, unlike the other one where it's gushing out underneath the bluff. This one percolates through. It's much more traditional. You'll see it used to be a buffalo wallowing hole. Then we head back, and what you see up there is what I like to call park architecture, where the stone is stacked and it sort of seems to grow out, and logs are used as the beams. These are usually WPA, Great Depression era buildings. I love that building. This is a spring, a waterfall as the creek comes down further. Again, you see it as it's coming down these hills. It crosses over the rocks. Someone had to go to the bathroom when we got back to the visitor center, and I thought that was funny. And then we headed off, and our next event, we were going to be able to see some deer. We got pictures of some deer, and there's some buffalo that they have in basically a pasture at the Chickasaw National Recreational Area. Got pictures of the buffalo finally. This is actually a day or 2 later after Eduardo left. I was able to see them. We didn't see them when Eduardo was there. And then we headed off, and we did do this the same day. We went to Turner Falls. Oh, I forgot this one. This is a spring that's in the city of Sulphur outside, but still in the park, but it's just outside. And there's a pipe that goes up about halfway, and it used to shoot up even further, but I thought that was really cool. Natural spring, not a fountain, that's a spring. And so I just want to get a picture of it. And it flows down this path, or down this trough into the creek. Then we went to Turner Falls. And Turner Falls is really, really cool. It's a county park, or a city park. I don't remember if it's city or county. But this is all the water flowing out of the falls. And there's the falls. Normally they don't flow this much. The night before we'd had a big rain. So this was the biggest I had ever seen the falls. And I've been there, I think, 2 times before. And this looked like, it reminded me of Niagara Falls to some small extent. I'd call it the Niagara Falls of Oklahoma when it's running this large. We climbed up on it a little bit. You can see Eduardo up there waving back at me. He was braver than I was. It was still wet, and I was worried about slipping, given my age. He was a little bit more adventurous. I was worried about him slipping as well. So eventually I was able to get him to come back. And then we climbed down, and as we were climbing down, we noticed that there was another spring coming out of the side of the hill. So there's springs all through this area, whether it's Turner Falls or Chickasaw. Chickasaw is very nice. This is an old house that a doctor built in the 20s or 30s to look like a castle. I thought that was cool. And then you have to cross this low water crossing to get back into and out of the Turner Falls Park. And on I-35 in the Turner Falls Park exit is Arbuckle Fried Pies. And I have discovered how fabulous Arbuckle Fried Pies are. At about $5 a piece, they are amazing. Then we got back to our camping site back within the Chickasaw recreational area on Arbuckle Lake. We cooked dinner. That's the campfire going where I was going to cook in that pan the steaks that I cut up. It was very good. This is the actual dinner we had. We made steak tacos. We put some Cheetos on them, made them really good. Some grilled jalapenos there. This is the campfire. The next day, Eduardo got up, went back. I took him to Dallas-Fort Worth to the airport. And then the next weekend, it was time for me to leave that area. And here I am pulling out, saying goodbye to Chickasaw National Recreational Area in Arbuckle Lake. And I was on the road to Colorado with one overnight stop still in Oklahoma. But before I got to the overnight stop, I went through the Wichita Mountains Wildlife Refuge. A really cool place. This is their visitor center. And you see the mountains off in the distance and the great big prairie plain in front of them. And then as you're driving through, you begin to notice, and there are a lot of buffaloes in this refuge area. There's also some longhorn cattle. I saw the longhorn cattle, but I'm used to seeing longhorn cattle, so I didn't take any videos of those. But as the drive goes on, I got very excited because I began to be able to see the buffalo off in the far distance. And unlike at the Chickasaw area, these buffalo were not in a pasture. They were wild, and they were out in the open area. So you're in their homeland, and I stopped and I got out and I took some pictures of buffaloes far away. What I did not realize was there's far more buffaloes in this area, and they were far closer to the road as I got further and deeper into the refuge area. They were right very close to the road. I didn't have to try to scan my video or zoom in any way. I could just simply take the pictures of the buffalo by my normal camera skills. I thought that was really cool. None of them blocked the road for me. Then after I got out of the refuge, I headed up to an area called the Washita battle site. I just took a picture of the sign. The site was just overlooking the area. But the sign I found, it's problematic. It was an attack by Custer on some Native American Cheyennes. It's called a battle because some of Custer's cavalry members were killed. I think it was a massacre. And that is a roadside attraction since I love to take. Then I got to the Felt Picnic area, which is where I was going to spend the night. And then the next video will take up my trip into Colorado and the Great Sand Dunes National Park. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to making the next one.